Rightio guys, welcome back to another rollie around the campfire. Today I'm going to do some legs of lamb. I'm going to hang them over the fire for a few hours and cook them like that, and then I'll chuck them in the camp oven and finish them off in the camp oven, so hopefully they'll be nice and tender and we can just pluck them bones straight out of them and eat them up. So yeah, nothing too fancy with them. I've got 2 legs. I'm doing a bit of a practice run for what I'm going to be doing at the Monday bash. So yeah, just 2 whole legs, hocks on, and what I'll do is I'll get some olive oil. I'll just coat them with a bit of olive oil, and then I'll chuck a bit of seasoning on, or a bit of herbs and stuff that I've got, and that's pretty much all I'll do. And we'll hang them over the fire, and then the main stuff goes in the camp oven with it when she's time to do that, slow cook it. But I'm also going to be doing a whole baked pumpkin in the fire, just in alfoil, and I stuff that with coconut cream and chives or spring onions, and normally I put bits of bacon in there as well, but I'm not doing that today, so it's just going to be a very boring one, unfortunately. But yeah, so we'll just give this one a season up, and then we'll get the other one ready and we'll go take them out on the fire. Rightio, so we've got our legs, and I'm just going to hang them up here. Doesn't have to go any particular way, because it's not like they've got like a bone side and that very thoroughly. But yeah, I'll just hang him just like that, and I'll use 2 hooks just so I can try and stabilise him a bit. Actually, might just hang that like that, and then that one can go there, and then the second one, you can go that way. Just try and get them reasonably even so they cook similar. And yeah, we'll leave them there for probably 3 hours, and I'll just keep rotating them around, give them a bit more bit on each side. Pour a bit more of that over it so it can go. Yeah. But yeah, so I'll just keep rotating them as they cook. I'll probably leave them like that for about an hour and a bit, and then I'll flip them over the other side, give them an hour and a bit on that side, and see how they go. But we'll keep you posted. I'm going to do the pumpkin now, so we'll show you how we get the pumpkin sorted and what we do with it. Rightio, so first job with the pumpkin is to remove all the seeds. So I just cut him down through the top and just chisel your way across and just do a bit of a square. You can sort of feel when you go through, when you get into the softer part where all the seeds and that are. And yeah, I just sort of cut him out in a rough square, because you've got to get in there and scoop out all the pumpkin seeds, which is a bit of a pain, but it just makes it a bit easier. So yeah, you just make sure it's fully cut through. That looks like it's not too bad because it's moving. You don't want to come out. There we are. So we just pluck the top off like that. Cut your seed bit, and you need to keep that bit because he's going to go back in there. Then we grab a spoon and you just go through and try and cut everything off, all that stringy bits, and just scoop your seeds out. It's not the end of the world if there's a couple left in there. If your dinner guests are that fussy, I'd tell them they can cook their own bloody dinner. No. And we're definitely not reinventing the wheel with this one. Everyone does it. Been done plenty of times before. I'm just showing you a way that I do it and what works for us. So there we are, that's your pumpkin. She's all hollowed out, and yeah, you got your lid that goes back in there. There we are, just like that. So next job is for your spring onions. So we'll slice up, cut them back here. I like to use these bottom bits more. I reckon they got a bit more flavour in them, a bit tastier. So yeah, normally I'd fry up a bit of bacon or like stringy bacon or something and chuck in there, but for this exercise and for the big cook up we're doing out at Monday, yeah, I won't be using bacon, so we'll just do it with the chives and the coconut cream. So you don't have to dice them up too much, just roughly. And we'll get our plug back out, chuck them in. So you probably want, I don't know, what's that, about half a cup of chives in there. What are they called? Spring onions? Same things, aren't they? Pretty much. And then bring that back over here. And then, yeah, some coconut cream. So you just fill him up to the bottom of where your cut is with the coconut cream, which this one worked out to be pretty much full can. So that's that. Give him a bit of a stir around. Get our lid, wrong way again, there we are, put him back on, so sit them there, and then the next trick is we'll wrap him in some foil. I like to use this, I call it man foil from Bunnings, the big heavy duty stuff. Seems to, because it's nice and thick, works really well, doesn't burn, doesn't rip, and yeah, it's nice insulator, so it's a bit thicker, acts like it's its own little camp oven basically. So yeah, I'll just about yay much, sit him in the middle. There we are. Nice little parcel, and normally I've worked out that pretty much takes whatever meat you're cooking, pretty much takes about the same time. So I'll start it off, I'll sit it in beside the fire and I'll just keep rotating around every half hour or so, and you just keep turning it when you turn the meat, and it cooks by the time the meat's done. It's done, so yeah, probably about 5 hours. For that you could probably do it quicker if you want, but you know, we're here for 5 hours with the fire cooking the meat, so do it. And if you find it's cooked or getting like reasonably close, you can just pull it away from the heat and let it sit there. It's not going to hurt it, it's not going to make it any worse or any better. So yeah, we'll go chuck him on the fire. So yeah, normally just sit him there. I might give it a bit and then I'll put it right into close to the fire to get it really cook up, and then yeah, should be all good. So yeah, we might go get a beer, I think. Nice warm day, warmish day. So yeah, we'll keep you updated. Rightio, so they've been on for roughly 3 hours. I've flipped them round and upside down and just as needed. You just sort of got to gauge that as you go, but you're not really trying to cook them thoroughly through with that process. You're just more trying to get a bit of that smoke flavour into it and char it up a bit. So now we'll chuck them in the camp oven. So first, a bit of smoke. I'll chuck that over here, and then we will grab that knife. Actually, we've got to do the first bit, don't we? So yeah, we'll layer the bottom of the camp oven with some red onions, and that's going to act as our trivet sort of for the lambs to sit on, and they'll also break down in the cooking process and go into the gravy at the end, which will make it quite good. So yeah, we've just got some fairly thick slices of the red onion, and then we've got some garlic. So I'll just squash the garlic a bit, so it opens up and lets the flavour out, just like that, basically. And we'll chuck them in. Some rosemary. So I'll put a couple of, I'll just break a bit of it off on the bottom. Leave the big stems out for now. You can leave the stems on if you want, but you're just gonna have to go dishing them up to someone later on. So I'll just do it like that, and I'll put one bit on top just for the show. So yeah, now we'll get one of these off, and oh, it's a bit warm. A bit warm. Sit him in the oven. So what I'll have to do to make him fit is I'll knock this hock off him. So, but it'll go in with it. I'll just separate it. At the joint, which should be just about there. Now I might go grab some gloves, because that's a bit warm. Right. So yeah, I'll just cut through. You can get your butcher to do this if you want before you bring it home, but oh, bit of juice coming out of it. But yeah, so there you go. I'm just gonna separate him like that. We'll try and, actually might have to cut him right off to get him to fit the two in there. So here we go. There's one. Get the other one. And that pumpkin, I've just been flipping it around, probably every half hour, giving it a rotate, and I'm just about ready to shift it away a bit from that heat. It's starting to soften right up, so yeah, should be good. There we are. We'll get that one in there. Just like that, they just fit like a glove. And then the last bit is just a bit of chicken stock. So we'll chuck that over the top of it and in the bottom, and yeah, that's him one and him one. And then we'll just chuck that lid back on him, and we'll probably give him, I'll give it 2 hours and see what it's like and just gauge it from there. But yeah, I reckon probably 2.5 hours should see it pretty good. So I just got to put some coals out underneath him, and should be having a nice roast lamb dinner. In, yeah, probably 3 hours, I reckon. Oh, that's hot. Plenty of heat there, which is good. Oops, anyway, so I'll just give that pumpkin another turn, and it'll probably just sit out away from the fire now. I'll just transfer the fire over to this side, and you won't not too much heat on that. It's just going to be a slow cook, so we'll just put a few coals on the lid, and basically all you need it to do now is just to break that meat down so it's nice and soft and tender, and we'll we'll show you that when she's ready to pull out. Rightio, so the lamb is done, so I'll get the lid off and I'll give you a look before I take it inside to cut it all up.
I can't give you a sniff. It smells amazing.
So that's it, and yeah, all them shanks are starting to fall apart, and then I'll take them out, put them inside, and I'll cut them up, and then I'll chuck some gravy mix in the bottom of that and mix it up to make our gravy. But yeah, just got the pumpkin sitting in the middle there. It's pretty much done, and got some spuds on, and then while this is resting, I'll go chuck some peas on, and we'll be good. So we'll we'll get it all off and get it set up and show you when we're carving her up. Oh, get him off. So yeah, that's finished product. We're just going to carve him up. But what my the theory with this is you can just pull that, well, when it's not so hot, bone straight off. It worked better last time, but as it always does. But yeah, you can see that meat's just fallen away. So, oh, nice bone, clean as a whistle. And then, and she's bloody dangerous here. We'll pull the other big leg bone out. And then all we'll have left is meat, and someone can mung on that, I'd reckon. So we'll just stick him all together and slice him up. Look at that. Beautifully cooked, nice and tender, and plenty of flavour. So it's you know, one thing when you're cooking big legs and boned in meat, you're trying to cut it up and it's hard and you're hitting the bone and that's why I thought this is a perfect way to eliminate that problem, and all you get left over is big chunks of meat, just like that. So you could probably even shred it up if you wanted to, do pulled lamb kebabs, garlic lamb kebab or something. But yeah, we just we're gonna have dinner with this tonight. We're gonna have it as a roast meal with our potatoes. Got the coconut potatoes done, and the pumpkin and the peas. We'll have to go get the pumpkin and show you that once we get this cut up. And then we'll have leftover roast lamb and gravy rolls for dinner tomorrow night. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. You got all that now is all nice roast lamb. A little bit of fat there, we'll take it out. But yeah, the rest of it is all 100% meat. Super easy. And yeah, you can just you don't even have to hang it. Like if you've got like a little fire pit or with a grill or something like that, you can just chuck it over the grill and just have a small bit of heat underneath it, and give it a couple of hours like that, and then chuck it in the camp oven. But we'll shift this and I'll go grab the pumpkin and show you the pumpkin, and then we'll be ready to dish up. All that, I think that little bit there, it's got my name on it. Yum yum. Rightio, we'll be back with you in a sec. So we got the pumpkin, and it pretty much cooked the same amount of time as the meat. It just kept rotating it around, and I just keep feeling it, make sure it's all nice and soft and cooked. So yeah, it's all nice and soft. So we'll see if we can't get that lid out without destroying it. Not really. There we go. So yeah, it's probably not as cooked as it should be, but the rest of it's all nice. But that's our nice bit of coconut cream in there, and now we'll just cut into him. And make a big mess. Oh, look at that. Nice and yummy. So yeah, that'll be nice and not so much coconutty, but it'll have that nice little bit of a creamy coconutty flavour in it as it's cooked. So put a bit of that chives and that on as you dish it up with your roast meat, your peas, and yeah, delicious. So we'll get a bit of a plate going and we'll show you the end result in a sec. And yeah, but that's the way to, I reckon I hate pumpkin and I love eating it like this, so yeah, it's the way to go. Yep. Yum, yum. So, perfect Sunday roast dinner. Takes a little bit of effort, but it's nice and cruisy afternoon, sitting there watching the fire and things cook. So, yeah, give it a go, people. Let us know what you think.